Tonight, I quiet my soul before the Word of God. Jesus revealed not only light, but also the reality of the adversary one who deceives, destroys, and divides. As I listen, I rest in his truth. If this word gives me peace, I will continue walking in it and share this journey with others.
Enoch walked with God when the earth was noisy, yet his heart remained quiet. He did not chase applause or seek the recognition of the crowd. He listened for a voice that was deeper than the shouts of men. He believed that walking with God was worth more than running with the multitude. Day after day, year after year, he kept his steps in rhythm with the unseen companion. He discovered that holiness is not about spectacle, but about steady faithfulness. Holiness is not loud, but it is strong. Holiness is not a performance, but a posture. It is the bending of the will, the softening of the voice, the cleansing of the heart. When people built towers of ambition, Enoch built an altar of surrender. When men collected stones to make their names great, Enoch laid stones to declare God's greatness. He learned to give thanks in small things. He learned to forgive quickly. He learned that the secret to joy was not in having much but in walking closely. He knew that every step counted, even the ones no one else noticed. The world around him grew dark. Violence filled the earth. Greed spread like fire. But Enoch chose light when darkness tempted. He chose truth when convenience whispered. He chose obedience when disobedience looked easier. His choices were not always grand, but they were steady. Each small yes became a building block of a life that God delighted in. God remembered his tears. God remembered his silence. God remembered his whispered prayers in the night. Every sigh became a song before the throne. Every sacrifice became a fragrance in heaven. And heaven's memory does not fade. One day the ordinary broke open. The road did not end in a grave. The road lifted upward. Enoch did not taste death as others did. The world lost sight of him, but God held him. His life became a witness that death is not the end. His story became a prophecy written in flesh. If you walk with God, you will walk past death. Enoch's life tells us tonight that our quiet yes matters. The unseen obedience is not wasted. The hidden prayer is not forgotten. The unnoticed kindness is not lost. Every step, however small, is counted. Every tear, however secret, is stored. Every word, however quiet, is remembered. If you feel unseen, keep sowing quiet obedience. If you feel tired, borrow breath from the Word of God. If you feel small, remember that heaven counts small steps. God does not forget the faithful ones. He does not forget those who endure with love. He does not forget those who walk with him, even when no one else does. Enoch's walk was not without struggle. He lived in a corrupt generation. He faced temptations. He felt the weight of loneliness. But he discovered that one step with God is better than 1,000 steps without him. He discovered that the voice of heaven is sweeter than the noise of earth. He discovered that the presence of God is more satisfying than the approval of men. And tonight, as you lay down to rest, his story calls you. Do not measure your life by how loud it is. Measure it by how close you are to the Lord. Do not chase towers that crumble. Walk the path that rises. Do not fear being unseen by people. Rest in being seen by God. Your walk may be simple. It may be hidden. But heaven is watching. Heaven is counting. Heaven is delighting. And one day, like Enoch, the road will not end in a grave but in glory. So keep walking. Keep saying yes. Keep choosing truth over ease. Keep choosing mercy over bitterness. Keep choosing hope over despair. God walks with you. And every step you take in faith carries you closer to the light that never ends. The story of Enoch does not stop with his walk. It opens a door into another vision, a vision of angels who forgot their place. These were the watchers, mighty beings created to guard, not to corrupt. But desire grew in them. Pride rose in them. Curiosity became rebellion, and rebellion became destruction. They looked at the daughters of men. They desired what was not theirs. They crossed a boundary they were never meant to cross. And so heaven's order trembled. The holy broke. The pure became polluted. What was meant to protect now began to destroy. The watchers did not come empty-handed. They came bearing gifts that looked bright but carried shadows. They taught metal work, but it became weapons of war. They taught herbs, but it became potions of sorcery. They taught stars, but it became astrology to control destinies. What was meant for stewardship became tools for domination. Knowledge, when cut from reverence, becomes poison. The earth began to bleed. The Nephilim rose, giants born of forbidden unions. They devoured what was around them. They crushed the weak. They filled the world with violence. And men called it progress. But heaven called it corruption. Enoch saw this. He saw angels in chains of guilt. He saw humanity deceived by brilliance without wisdom. He saw knowledge stripped of holiness. And he was commanded to speak. He stood before the watchers, trembling but firm. He delivered the word. There is no forgiveness left for you. The order you broke cannot be restored by your tears. The chains you forged cannot be undone by your sorrow. The angels who once shone like fire now shivered like ash. They begged for mercy, but mercy was sealed. Why? Because rebellion is not ignorance. It is willful. It is knowing the truth and bending it. It is turning the gift of God into the weapon of pride. And tonight, this story still speaks. For knowledge without holiness still breaks the world. Technology without reverence still devours. Wisdom without worship still corrupts. Every age has its watchers, and every soul must choose whether to walk with them or walk with God. The watchers remind us that brilliance can betray. The most intelligent can become the most dangerous when humility is gone. The most gifted can become the most destructive when worship is absent. Light without love becomes lightning that strikes and burns. But Enoch reminds us that one faithful voice is still louder than 1,000 corrupt ones. He reminds us that even when angels fall, humans can rise. He reminds us that even when knowledge is twisted, truth still stands. If you feel small in a world of giants, remember this. Faith is greater than strength. Holiness is heavier than brilliance. Obedience outlasts rebellion. The watchers fell because they forgot who the Creator was. Enoch rose because he remembered. So tonight, in your quiet rest, guard your heart. Do not let pride teach your hands. Do not let rebellion guide your eyes. Do not let curiosity erase your reverence. Let knowledge serve love. Let wisdom serve worship. Let every gift lead back to the giver. The chains of the watchers are a warning. The walk of Enoch is an invitation. Choose your teacher wisely, for what you learn will shape what you become, and what you become will echo in eternity. Enoch was taken deeper. His eyes were opened to a valley no man wishes to see. The air was heavy. The sky was crimson with storm. The ground split and rivers of fire ran through the rocks. It was a place of waiting, a place of verdict. He saw multitudes gathered. Some trembled, some raged, some wept without tears. They waited not for a trial, but for a sentence already sealed. For God had recorded their works, and every secret was now unveiled. He saw angels, tall and radiant, yet solemn. They stood on the ridges of the valley, scrolls in hand. Those scrolls glowed with light no fire could dim. They contained names, deeds, choices, moments. Every hidden word was written. Every silent thought was inked. No bribe could erase. No power could alter. The valley was called a place of fire. Yet the greatest fire was not the river of flame. It was the fire of truth that no one could escape. The guilty felt it like a wound that could not close. The proud felt it like a mirror they could not break. The deceivers felt it like a light that tore away every mask. Enoch trembled. He saw kings brought low, giants bent down, and the mighty pleading like beggars. He saw those who mocked God silenced. He saw those who abused others exposed. He saw the violent crushed by their own cruelty. And he knew justice is not a rumor. It is a certainty. The valley of fire whispered this truth. God forgets nothing. He remembers the cries of the oppressed. He remembers the blood of the innocent. He remembers the prayers whispered in secret. And he remembers the arrogance that trampled them. But Enoch also saw mercy. For on the edges of judgment, he saw another light. A light that fell not as fire but as balm. Those who confessed, those who turned, those who clung to faith, were lifted from the valley's edge. They were given robes white as morning. And their names shone bright in the book of life. The vision taught him this. Judgment is not for cruelty, but for cleansing. It is not for God's delight, but for the restoration of creation. The fire consumes what is false, so that truth may stand. The valley reveals what men tried to hide, so that healing may begin in the open. And tonight, as you hear these words, the same choice stands before you. Will your works burn as straw, or shine as gold refined? Will your name fade in shadow, or glow in light? Will your heart cling to lies, or rest in truth? The valley of fire is not a fantasy. It is the echo of every injustice unrepented. It is the end of every cruelty unhealed. But it is also the reminder that God has provided a way out. Through His Son, through His mercy, through His promise. No one needs to remain in the fire. Enoch walked out of the vision changed. He walked with urgency. He spoke with weight. He warned, not to frighten, but to awaken. For the valley he saw was not for stories, but for souls. And so tonight, let your soul be awake. Let the fire of truth burn away your pride. Let the valley of warning keep you close to the shepherd. Let your name be written where the fire cannot erase. Walk in repentance. Walk in faith. Walk in the mercy that pulls us from the valley and sets us on the mountain of God. Enoch's visions did not end with the valley of fire. Beyond judgment, he saw a figure. The figure was like a son of man. Not terrifying, yet overwhelming. Not distant, yet radiant. Not a legend, but a living center. His presence was the answer to the valley. Where guilt had crushed, he lifted. Where fire had consumed, he healed. Where shadows had chained, he released. The Son of Man stood in glory. His eyes were fire, but fire without smoke. His mouth spoke, and the sound was like rushing waters. Yet the words were not to destroy, but to cleanse. They carried truth like light, piercing without cruelty, burning without malice, healing without delay. Enoch saw nations beneath his light. Every tribe, every tongue, every people. The proud trembled, but the humble rejoiced. The wounded were comforted. The oppressed were lifted. The forgotten were remembered. The broken were healed. The Son of Man did not break the bruised reed. He did not snuff the dimly burning wick. Instead, he breathed, and what was fragile became strong. What was fading became bright. This vision was not only a warning, but a promise. For judgment was not the end. Justice opened the door for healing. Truth made room for mercy. Holiness prepared the way for wholeness. Enoch saw that the world itself groaned. Mountains scarred by violence, rivers poisoned by greed, nations torn by war, families broken by betrayal, hearts weary with despair. And he saw the Son of Man stretch out his hands. From those hands flowed rivers of light. The rivers touched the scars of creation. The rivers cleansed what violence had stained. The rivers healed what time had wounded. And creation sighed with relief. The Son of Man is not only judge. He is healer. He is not only sovereign. He is shepherd. He is not only consuming fire. He is comforting light. Enoch trembled, but it was no longer the trembling of fear. It was the trembling of awe. For in the Son of Man, justice and mercy met, holiness and tenderness kissed, power and gentleness embraced. He saw the Son of Man surrounded by countless voices. Voices of saints, voices of martyrs, voices of the faithful. Their song was one: worthy is the Son of Man. Worthy is he who heals the world. Worthy is he who reigns forever. The nations brought their burdens to him. They laid down their weapons. They laid down their idols. They laid down their pride. And in exchange, they received peace. They received joy. They received life. The Son of Man restored what rebellion had ruined. He rebuilt what pride had torn down. He renewed what sin had decayed. And Enoch understood. This is the hope beyond the valley. This is the promise for all who believe. This is the destiny of the faithful. Tonight, as you rest, remember, the Son of Man still heals. He heals nations and he heals individuals. He heals wounds too deep for men to see. He heals scars too old for men to name. He heals grief too heavy for men to carry. He heals shame too hidden for men to confess. Bring your wound to him. Bring your fear to him. Bring your brokenness to him. He does not reject. He does not mock. He does not delay. He heals. If your soul feels fractured, let his word bind you. If your mind feels restless, let his peace settle you. If your heart feels heavy, let his joy lift you. If your strength feels gone, let his spirit renew you. The Son of Man is more than a figure in Enoch's vision. He is the Christ revealed in time. He is the Jesus who came near, who walked among us, who touched the sick, who forgave the sinner, who calmed the storm, who carried the cross, who rose from the grave. Enoch saw him in shadow. We see him in fullness. And one day, we will see him face to face. Until then, walk in his healing. Rest in his mercy. Trust in his promise. For the Son of Man not only judges the earth, he mends it. Not only reveals sin, he forgives it. Not only exposes wounds, he heals them. So tonight, whisper your prayer. Offer your wound. Surrender your fear. And let the Son of Man heal the world. Beginning with you. Enoch's visions ended not in the valley of fire, nor even in the glory of the Son of Man, but in the promise of a kingdom without end, a city not built by men, but prepared by God. He saw the final kingdom. He saw a new heaven and a new earth. The first had passed away. The scars of rebellion were gone. The wounds of history were healed. The groaning of creation was silenced. And in their place stood peace. The holy city descended like a bride. Its walls shone with jasper. Its streets glimmered with gold like glass. Its gates were pearls, each gate a testimony of beauty beyond suffering. And at the heart of the city, a throne stood. From that throne flowed a river, clear as crystal, water of life, never running dry. On each side of the river grew the tree of life. Its branches reached for the sky. Its leaves shone with healing. Its fruit came in seasons without end. And nations gathered to eat freely. No hunger remained. No thirst remained. No curse remained. The city was filled with light, but not the light of sun or moon. The glory of God gave it radiance. The Lamb was its lamp. Night was no more. Darkness was no more. Fear was no more. Enoch saw the people of God. They were clothed in white, not white from their own purity, but from robes washed in grace. They sang, not to themselves, but to the one who redeemed them. Their song was endless, yet never tiring. Their joy was complete, yet ever growing. He saw children laughing without fear. He saw elders dancing without pain. He saw nations embracing without division. He saw creation flourishing without decay. The wolf lay with the lamb. The lion ate straw like the ox. The sea no longer threatened. The earth no longer trembled. Peace was not an idea, but a reality. The final kingdom was not like the kingdoms of men. It did not rise by conquest. It did not stand by power. It did not thrive on oppression. It was built by righteousness. It was sustained by love. It was ruled by the Lamb. Enoch realized this was the eternal rest. Not sleep, but wholeness. Not silence, but harmony. Not absence, but fullness. Every longing met, every prayer answered, every tear wiped. This vision was not only for him. It was for us, for those who wait, for those who endure, for those who walk by faith, step by step, often unseen, often weary, but never forgotten. The final kingdom is the home prepared for them, the rest prepared for the faithful, the joy prepared for the meek, the crown prepared for the humble. Tonight, as you close your eyes, imagine that city. Let your heart walk its streets. Let your soul drink its water. Let your spirit taste its fruit, and rest in its promise. The world you know will not last. Its wars will end. Its towers will fall. Its noise will fade. But the kingdom will stand. Its peace will reign. Its glory will shine. Its rest will endure. So hold fast. Do not let despair win. Do not let fear silence you. Do not let weariness break you. For your walk has an end. And that end is not a grave, but a city. Not darkness, but light. Not sorrow, but joy. Not exile, but home. The final kingdom is waiting. The eternal rest is sure. And the King himself will welcome you there. Beloved, Enoch's vision is not only history, but destiny. Walk with God, rest in his promise, and look forward to the eternal kingdom. If this message touched you, please like, subscribe, and share it. Leave your prayer requests in the comments. We will pray together.